Hey everyone, welcome to another video on Blender Geometry Nodes. In this video, we are going to see about Set Curve Tilt Node. This is part of the Curve Right Node section. I release new videos on a weekly basis. Please subscribe to my channel so that you will be notified when I upload a new video. This is Jay from CJ Academy. Let's start. We have the default cube. We don't need that. Let's keep this aside. And if you see, I have my own custom workspace setup. I'll share the link in the description on how to set it up. You can take a look. In this video, we're going to see about set curve tilt node. So if you see, this is a right node. It needs a curve input and it writes the tilt value and it outputs the curve. So let's take a curve for this, a Bezier segment. Okay. Now, if you see the spreadsheet editor, you have two control points and you have a property called tilt. So if I mute this, so this tilt column is gone. So set curve tilt node sets the tilt property, okay, and it decides how the control points rotates for each control point. So when I say each control point, if I say change this, it changes for all together. So that is what happens here. For example, let's bring in quadrilateral node because this is one of the curve primitive nodes where you have sharp edges, something that is unique to the curve segment. And we need the curve to mesh node. So this is something we have to do after the tilt value. So let's convert this, take this as the curve input and take this as the profile curve input. It's already twisted, so let's put this back to 0. Now this is a Bezier curve. So if you see the Bezier curve, it's like this. So the propagation will go like that only. Let's reduce this first to see the values clearly. Let's say I want to twist this whole Bezier curve mesh to a certain degree. So you can do this by changing the tilt property value. Observe here. Let's go to the cross section view. As I change it here, it's rotating, but it is rotating in all, or in this case only 2 points. So all the points are rotating. It doesn't matter how many points you put here, it will keep rotating all the points together. So let's bring in a subdivide curve and divide it few times. Now it doesn't change here because we are in the viewer node here, not here. So let's change this to here. So you see the cuts that happens. Even better, let's put the tilt viewers here and subdivide it one more time. So you get a good amount of points. Total 17 points, that includes the 0 as well. So viewer node is connected now. So you see a few times the subdivisions has happened. We need to little bit stretch this probably. Let's increase it by 3 times. Yeah, everything. Let's increase it by 3 times so that you get a big curve in this case. Okay, so this is done. Now let's hide this. We see the output, nothing changes. Now if I rotate the tilt value, it's still changing for all the points. If you want to see in the wireframe mode, I can show you. See, it rotates all the points. You have another option to control the selection. So let's bring in the compare node and then index. Now whatever index you choose, whether it is just equal or less than or greater than, based on that the tilt selection happens. Let's put this to equal to maybe 12. So only the 12th index will rotate. It will be somewhere here. Yeah, it's here actually. You can see the difference. So only that twists. Let's go back to this and see. So only here the twist happens. And if you have another condition, this will tilt everything less than or equal to 12. That means anything that is below 12 will rotate. Let's put less than 12. You can see here. Let's go back to wireframe mode. So everything rotates till 12. You see, after 12 nothing happens. Okay, and if I say greater than 12, the till 12 is here. So anything beyond that will rotate, and still the effect is only happening here because it rotates all the remaining points. What we are trying to achieve is a twist effect for all points, so it doesn't work with this setup here. So let's cut this link for now temporarily and keep it aside. Now the tilt value we will control with spline parameter. The spline parameter is a most powerful node in the curve read section because it gives you a very good flexibility to change a lot of values for each control point. Okay, now we have 17 control points, and this factor we have connected. So factor, I have already covered this spline parameter node in a separate video. I'll share the link in the description. You can take a look. What this will do is shortly, factor value will take 0 to 1 and distributes that along with all the points. So if I enable this again, so you can see the tilt value starts from 0 and ends at 1 because the factor is connected. If I say length, then the total length of this curve is taken into account and that is distributed along all the control points equally till. So this is 6.248 something. We are going to bring in a map range node. Reason, we had a control here in the tilt value, so we controlled it with rotating or changing the value of this. Now it is connected to spline parameter, so you have no option to control that value. It just 0 to 1 propagates through all the control points. For that reason, the map range node is needed. The map range node has a lot of useful features, but for the argument sake of this node, we will not touch deep into that. So you see there is the current value 0 to 1 and the modifying value we have to change. So now we are not going to invert it, but we are going to increase it because the twist needs to happen a little bit more. Now if you see 0 to 1, it should have propagated through all points. Now to see this change, let's change this max value. And you see the twist is happening on all points. Now if we go out of this, you can see. So now it's kind of looking like a thread, okay, or a wire, electrical wire. So what we are doing here is from 0 to 1, or let's say this degree, 0 to 1, that is remapped to 0 to 38 along all the 17 points. So this twist can be controlled using this map range node combined with the spline parameter node. Then you can actually change it to any value you want. So this gives you a nice twist in sharp objects. This also works on the non-sharp objects as well. So this is a nice way to twist any object you have, distribute some points across the curve, and then you can tilt it for each control point using this combination, map range and spline parameter together on the tilt value. So that's about set curve tilt node. If you find this video useful, please like it, share it with your friends. If you want me to cover any specific topic in Blender geometry nodes, please let me know in the comment section. Please subscribe to my channel. I will see you in another cool video. Thank you. Bye.